My name is Jeremy Schultz, and today I am going to share how to play Shape Snipers. Shape Snipers is a good game for 2 to 4 players designed for a high school geometry class, with extensions that can be made for a college geometry class. Shape Snipers is a game similar to Guess Who that allows students to identify properties of types of triangles and quadrilaterals, such as congruent segments, parallel lines, and angle properties. To play this game, you need a recording sheet, something to record on the recording sheet, such as a pencil or marker, and a deck of the Shape Snipers cards. The objective of this game is to ask questions to identify the shapes that each of the other players submitted. By asking questions, you can eliminate certain shapes and thus eventually find out what shape each of the other players have. Setup. Distribute a recording sheet to each player, and place the rules sheet, which also has definitions of all the possible shapes, in the middle of the table so that everyone can see. Shuffle the deck of cards and deal 7 cards to each player. Each player will look at their hand and select a shape to play face down as their submission for that round. If a player has more than one of the same shape, then if the player chooses to play that shape, they must play all cards of that shape. For example, if my hand were to consist of an equilateral triangle, right isosceles triangle, scalene triangle, 2 squares, and 2 trapezoids, I could choose to play any of those cards. But if I chose to play the square or the right trapezoid, I must play both of the cards, thus submitting 2 squares or 2 right trapezoids and doubling the scoring for that round. When all players have submitted their card or cards, we move on to the questions phase of the round. Beginning with the player that is to the left of the dealer, players will have 2 options for their turn. Option 1, ask a yes or no question about the properties of the polygons that were submitted. Option 2, guess a specific player's shape. Option 1, ask a yes or no question about the properties of the polygons that were submitted. Some examples of questions that may be asked are, does it have 3 sides? Does it have an obtuse angle? Does it have a set of congruent sides? Does it have 2 sets of parallel lines? When answering the questions, all players, including the player that asked the question, share their response to that question and mark the answer on their game sheet.
I'll ask a question. Do you have a 3-sided shape?
Yes.
I do not.
Oh shoot.
Oh, I forgot to remove that, didn't I?
That's fine.
Oh, that's my bad. That's my bad.
3 side, you are no, I'm a yes. So we're going. All right. Do you have parallel lines?
No.
Okay.
Do you have parallel lines? Oh, you're going to be a no no matter what.
Yeah, I am a no.
That's a great question to ask there.
Yes, thank you. Robin says parallels, right?
Yeah, you should. I think
Yeah.
it's like one of those not explicitly stated, but
Right.
it's like a consequence of it.
Kite is not kite is concave. Okay. Option 2 is guessing a specific player's shape. If a player successfully guesses another player's shape, They take that shape and add it to their score pile. If a player guesses another player's shape incorrectly, the shape is revealed, and the player whose shape was guessed incorrectly gets to add their card to their score pile. Because each card can only be guessed once, it is generally a good idea to have a fairly confident idea about what the shape is prior to making an official guess. You do this by narrowing down the shapes based on the questions that are asked and eliminated shapes based on the answers to the questions.
Do you have, I'm just going to have to shoot a blank. Do you have an isosceles acute triangle?
I do.
Wow.
Do you have a chevron?
I do have a chevron.
Solid. A round ends when all cards have been guessed, or there is only one card that has not been guessed, and it is that player's turn. At the end of each round, each player draws back up to 7 cards before the start of the next round. For a 20 to 30 minute game, with 4 players, it is recommended to play 2 rounds. With 3 players, it is recommended to play 3 rounds. And with 2 players, it is recommended to play 4 rounds. At the end of the last round, the player with the most cards in their scoring pile wins. In the event that it is determined that a player gave misinformation about the card, all other players play 1 card from their hand into their score pile immediately, and the card that had misinformation is discarded. Essentially, all other players receive 1 extra point. This rule is in place to guarantee fairness in the event that misinformation happens. Variations of this game include adding an expansion pack, which includes some polygons with irregular properties, such as a kite with a right angle, and other wild cards, which would be recommended for a college level course. Players don't have to answer the question that they ask. In this variation, players only answer the questions that they are asked and do not have to answer their own questions. This creates a different mindset when asking questions because you no longer need to worry about giving away information about your own shape. Or teacher versus class. In this version, the teacher submits a shape and the class works together to ask questions and determine the shape as a group. This version is recommended to be used as an example when teaching the game to a classroom. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy this game.